My name is Hapsat, and this is my story. The story of how God reached a small Muslim family in Somalia and changed our lives forever. I was born and raised in a quiet town near Mogadishu, Somalia. My family was deeply devoted to Islam. My father was respected in our community, a teacher of the Quran, a man everyone came to for wisdom. My mother was gentle and kind, known for her hospitality and devotion. I was the youngest of 3 daughters, Fatima, Zahara, and me, Hapsat. Our days were marked by prayer. The adhan, the call to prayer, echoed through our neighborhood 5 times a day. My father's soft recitation of the Quran filled our home. My sisters and I would help our mother in the kitchen, learning the rhythms of family, faith, and duty. Life was simple, not perfect, but peaceful. From a young age, I was known for my curiosity. I asked too many questions about faith, about why we prayed, about what God was really like. My mother would smile and say, "Some questions, my daughter, are not for children to ask." But I couldn't help it. Something inside me always wanted to understand more. My father's dream was that each of us would marry good men, men who would uphold our family's honor and carry forward our faith. And in time, his dream began to unfold. When I was about 14, my eldest sister, Fatima, got married to an imam from another city. It was a beautiful day, full of music, smiles, and pride. I remember how my father prayed over her. "May Allah bless your home with peace and children." 4 months after the wedding, everything seemed perfect. Fatima would visit home, her face glowing, her heart light. But after 3 years, the visits changed. She began to come home in tears, her laughter replaced with silence. One night, I overheard her whisper to my mother that her husband's family had begun mocking her because she had not conceived a child. In our culture, that was a heavy shame for a woman. I didn't understand much at that age, but I could feel the sadness that filled our house. My mother comforted her the best she could. My father remained strong, but I could see the pain in his eyes. He would only say softly, "Allah knows best." 3 years later, my second sister, Zahara, got married, also to an imam. My father was overjoyed again, seeing it as a new beginning. But deep down, Fatima's quiet tears worried me. I remember the day Zahara left. Fatima hugged her tightly, whispering something I couldn't hear. For a while, Zahara's marriage seemed happy too. But after 2 years, the same sorrow visited her. She, too, remained childless. When she came home, she would sit in silence beside Fatima. Sometimes, at night, I could hear them crying together. Rumors began spreading through the community, whispers that our family was under a curse. 2 daughters, both barren? Perhaps their father offended God, people said. My mother began fasting and praying more. My father grew quiet. He often sat outside under the neem tree, rolling his prayer beads, staring into space. He looked tired, older than his years. One evening, I found him crying silently. It was the first time I had ever seen him weep. He said to me, "A man can bear many things, Hapsat, but watching his daughters in pain breaks him differently." Not long after that, my father was rushed to the hospital with high blood pressure. We prayed day and night, but after a few days, he passed away. His death shattered us. The man who had been the strength of our home was gone. We buried him with tears and silence. My mother was inconsolable. It felt like light had left our house. After his death, something strange began to happen to me. I started having dreams, vivid, terrifying dreams that felt more real than waking life. In the first dream, I saw children trapped in a dark underground room, crying and calling my name. Their small hands reached out to me through iron bars. And guarding them was a huge, dark creature with eyes like fire. I woke up trembling and drenched in sweat. The dream returned again and again, clearer each time. I could hear their cries. I could feel their fear. I didn't understand it, but something inside me told me it was connected to my family. The night before my father's burial, the dream came stronger than ever. I found myself standing before that underground house again, bound with heavy chains. The ground shook beneath me. Then, out of the shadows, that dark creature appeared, roaring. I was frozen in fear. And then, a light appeared from above. Bright, warm, pure. From within the light came a voice, calm, strong, and full of peace. It said, "Do not be afraid. What you see is not just a dream. This is a call to faith. You will set the captives free." The light surrounded me. Fear vanished. Strength rose inside me like a wave. I turned toward the creature and spoke words I didn't even know before. "You have no power. Leave." The beast screamed and vanished into the darkness. The chains broke. The underground door swung open. Inside, I saw the children smiling, running into the light. Behind me stood my sisters, Fatima and Zahara, ready to help me bring them out. Just as they stepped forward, I woke up, gasping, shaking, crying. And from deep inside, without thinking, I shouted, "Jesus!" It was the first time I had ever said that name. My mother and sisters rushed into my room. I was trembling and drenched in tears. I tried to explain, but they said it was just a nightmare. But I knew it wasn't. The peace that name brought me, Jesus, was unlike anything I had ever felt. From that day, I couldn't get that name out of my heart. When I whispered it, I felt calm. When I cried it, I felt peace. A few months later, life grew even darker. Fatima received a divorce letter. Her husband said she was cursed and barren. 9 days later, Zahara received one too. Both of them came home broken, humiliated, destroyed. My mother fainted when she saw them clutching the letters. The whispers grew louder. That family is cursed. Our home became a house of sorrow. One evening, I told my mother about my dreams again, about the light, the beast, and the name of Jesus. Her face grew pale. She said sternly, "Never speak that name again. It is not from our faith." But I couldn't ignore it anymore. Late one night, when everyone was asleep, I took my phone and began searching online. Muslims who saw Jesus in dreams. To my surprise, there were hundreds of stories. People from different countries, Muslims, Hindus, even atheists, all said they had seen a man in light who called himself Jesus. They all described the same peace I had felt. Tears filled my eyes as I read. Could it be real? A few days later, while helping my mother at the market, I passed by a small church tucked between two buildings. I don't know why, but I felt drawn to it. The next week, I returned there secretly. I waited outside until I saw a man holding a Bible come out. He looked kind. I approached him quietly and asked if he was the pastor. He smiled and said, "Yes, my daughter. How can I help you?" That moment changed everything. I told him about my dreams, about my family, about the name that brought peace. He listened carefully. Then he said something that pierced my heart. Sometimes, God speaks through dreams to call us to freedom. He is showing you that He loves your family. From that day, we began talking secretly, through phone calls and messages. He never pressured me, never argued. He only spoke about love, forgiveness, and peace. I began to pray at night, whispering softly, "Jesus, show me who you are." Months passed. The pain in our family was still there, but something was changing. My heart was lighter. I started sharing small words of hope with my sisters. At first, they didn't respond. But one evening, my mother joined me in prayer. She didn't say much, but she closed her eyes and whispered softly, "God, if this is your truth, show us." That moment, I felt something shift in the atmosphere. A few days later, I invited the pastor to our home. My family didn't know what to expect, but my mother agreed, saying, "If it will bring peace to this house, let him come." When he arrived, the room fell silent. He greeted us respectfully and sat down on the rug. My heart was pounding. I told my story from beginning to end, the dreams, the light, the beast, and the name of Jesus. As I spoke, my sisters began to weep. My mother covered her face with her scarf, trembling. When I finished, the pastor remained quiet for a while, then spoke gently. The children you saw represent everything your family has lost: joy, peace, fruitfulness, hope. The beast is the darkness that has held you captive. But when you called the name of Jesus, light came in, and freedom began. Tears flowed from everyone's eyes. My mother sobbed and said, "I have never felt peace like this." Fatima whispered, "I feel something leaving me." Zahara fell to her knees and prayed silently. The room felt warm, as though a new presence had entered. The pastor prayed for us. He spoke words of forgiveness, healing, and renewal. As he prayed, I felt a deep peace cover us like a blanket. For the first time in years, I wasn't afraid anymore. That night, something broke, not in pain, but in freedom. After that night, everything changed. Our home was different. The same walls that had echoed with tears now heard songs of prayer. My sisters began waking up early to pray with me. My mother started reading small passages from the Bible the pastor gave us. Life didn't become perfect overnight, but peace had come to stay. Some neighbors noticed our change. Some warned my mother, saying she was losing her faith. But she would smile and say, "I am not losing faith. I am finding peace." The pastor visited often, teaching us about forgiveness. That day, my sisters finally broke down, confessing their anger toward their ex-husbands. We prayed together, and through tears, they forgave them. If God can forgive us, we can forgive them. That moment, I knew healing had begun. Months passed. Fatima met a kind man, a Christian. He didn't care about her past. He only said, "I want to build a future with you." Their wedding was simple, peaceful, full of joy. Then Zahara met someone too, a humble aid worker who loved God. He told her, "Your pain does not define you. Grace does." Within a year, both my sisters were married again, and this time, they were truly happy. 6 months later, Fatima called me crying, but this time, it was tears of joy. She was pregnant. We shouted and wept with happiness. And soon after, Zahara called with the same news. Both gave birth to healthy baby boys. Our house was filled with laughter again, baby cries, songs, and prayers of thanksgiving. My mother would hold the babies and whisper, "You are signs of God's mercy." As for me, I continued growing quietly in faith. I helped my mother, loved my nephews, and attended the small fellowship the pastor led. It was there that I met Daniel, a kind, gentle man who served in the church. We became friends, shared our journeys, and after prayer and guidance, we were married in a simple, joyful ceremony. Now, as I share this testimony with you, I am expecting my first child. Every time I feel the baby move inside me, I remember how far God has brought us, from darkness to light, from sorrow to peace. There were nights I wanted to give up. Nights I thought God was silent. But I've learned something. When God seems silent, He is often preparing a miracle behind the scenes. If you're watching this and you feel forgotten or broken, please hear me. Your story is not over. Pain may visit, but it cannot stay forever when faith opens the door to God's healing. I have seen His light shine in the darkest places. When life feels empty, whisper His name. Jesus. He will meet you where you are. Following Him doesn't mean life without storms. It means peace in the storm. It means knowing that even when everyone leaves, He stays. He restores, He heals, and He gives back what life has stolen. My family is living proof. We lost everything, but God restored it all, in His time, in His way. So to you, watching this from wherever you are, don't give up. Don't stop believing. Don't let your pain define your faith. The same God who restored us will restore you too. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1 verse 5.